Let me flip this around. We are going, there we go. Okay. We're going live. We're gonna kind of clean up yesterday's live was a little edgy. That's a nice way to say it. It was a little edgy. My live was a little edgy. Well, first I'm gonna make some nachos, and I'll meet you guys over at the couch. I busted out a new notebook because the notebook is completely full, my last notebook. This is a mixture between songs and live. There's some weird ones on here. So I got a new notebook. Too much space. I still gotta record that one. Okay, nachos are done. Let's see. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff in here. That's a nice one. Lefty. That's part of my life is I have to apologize to Lexi. I said that I liked her and I liked her personality and her sense of humor, but I didn't want to date her because of her figure. Well, that's not true. I think she has a great figure. Wellness box chart. I remember that. That I think is still up on YouTube. That's like a 4-hour long live. I saw Liv did a reel with Lexi. She looked good. Okay, let's see. That's such a fucking crazy ass song, this one. Okay. You guys remember this picture? That's from my Instagram post. Yeah, this thing is I think, 99% full. So I got a new notebook. I'm going to go over... Wow. Okay, that's a song, A Kind Reminder of a Time No Longer. That's a song I wrote about my ex. Actually, I got to record that. A kind reminder of a time no longer. That's like when you see like a picture or something of someone that you used to be in a relationship with. If you're not resentful, it's a kind reminder of a time no longer. So these are not lyrics though. This is all, I went live and talked about how Freemasonry is a religion because it has all the characteristics of a religion. Like literally, and most Masons will say it's not a religion, but it technically is. But I'm not going to get into that topic. That was, I think that was on Instagram when I went live on that. I need to start doing what Jay Dyer does. Jay Dyer is the only person I watch on YouTube, and Liv. I don't know why, but Liv and Jay Dyer are the only two people I watch on YouTube. Okay, so nachos, right? Easy, simple. So Jay Dyer, one thing I appreciate about him is when he thoroughly covers a topic and then people call in and ask him questions about the topic he already went over, usually multiple times, he's like, you could go and look it up. We already went over this topic. I think that's very mature of you, Jay. So, I just am feeling led to talk about some health things and to sort of clean up yesterday's live that I put on private. Apparently, Tuesdays are my bad days. I don't know why. It seems like the last 4 Tuesdays, it's been not good days. Crystallized. Right? That's on Spotify. Recorded that one in Claremont, California. When we were young, I still gotta record that. When we were young, never took no shit from anyone. So some of these are kind of lyrics and then going live. I gotta record this one. We got along, but not for long. That was also about an ex-girlfriend. We got along well when we first met at the Grove. Okay, so yeah, I gotta record that one. I think there's like a demo on YouTube of that song. Summer Song. I wrote that one about Leffy. Sorry, Lexington. Okay. And she's a villain. She's not, but Wang Taco. That's on YouTube. I gotta properly record that too. Dead Inside. I gotta record that one too. There's some demos of that. I like that song. So anyways, I've written hundreds of songs. You could guess who that is. Okay. I know, I'm weird. I'm fucking weird. I know. I'm sorry. Okay. Look at this. The Devil. 2 strikes. 1 more strike, you're out. Okay. I remember that live. I went live and I was talking about how, what if like God was black, like Black God? And he was like, stop being a bitch, motherfucker. It was like, he talked to you like real, black, like. Oh, and then Val Kilmer, I went live on Instagram and talked about Val Kilmer, one of my favorite actors, Memory Eternal. Talked about Val Kilmer for like an hour and a half. Inside and Out, that's on Spotify. Okay, so, I don't know. Before I move into this new notebook, I'm kind of having a moment with this one. Oh. Okay. That was a fucked up live. I'm not even talking about that one. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Don't you hate it when it's so gross when people lick their fingers after they're eating? Have you ever seen someone do that? They're just like, it's like, can you not ever fucking do that? Okay. I got the phone turned around. So if you're commenting, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't even know if you can comment. I talked about this yesterday. I went live. I assembled my chair for my home studio, and there was 1,000 people watching. Everybody was commenting. Everybody was like in a good mood. It seemed like everybody was super supportive. It was the only time I've ever went live where it was like that. Usually there's like 100 people watching with like 1 or 2 somewhat negative comments. But this, I don't know why that when I went live and I assembled that chair, that was like the most, positive live I've had. So, okay, that's a concept album I wrote. Well, I'm not finished writing this, but Within Darkness Entered Friction and Behold the Light. I know that's an intense title. Act 1, it's an 11-minute song. I still got to write Act 2, titled Friction. And then Act 3. So that project started off so weird and intense that I wrote the first song and just kind of put it on the shelf. I just kind of like gave up on it or something for now. It just was, I don't know, negative or something. Just so that's a good song. Truth and Love. Truth and Love, there is the guitar version of Truth and Love. And that's on that's up on Amazon Music and everything. And I recorded that in Portland. Okay. Hold on. Before we move on to the next notepad. I usually go live on Instagram. I think it's more of a comfortable platform for me to go live. Like I know the people, at least sort of know who's following me, or YouTube, it's like I don't know who's subscribed to me. It seems more of a people calling me while I'm live. It just seems more of a when you call someone they don't fucking answer, it means they're busy. And it's unbelievable how people will just keep calling or texting. So anyways, most of my lives on Instagram, they're archived. And YouTube, I think I have like 5 lives up. So we're going to go into just the working tools for just a few minutes. Okay. Wash my hands. Okay. I'm on good behavior. I'm in a good mood today for some reason. I don't know why. So we have the working tools in Freemasonry. It's literally probably the only thing I like about Freemasonry. And here they are, right here. I know it looks like a fucking 3rd grader drew a bunch of circles and squares. So real fun, real quick. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. I might make some coffee. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put some monsters in the freezer. Don't let me forget. I'll be frozen. Do not let me forget. This live's gonna be short, y'all, because I got stuff to do today. I already went on a workout. Oh, it's you again. Hi, Gingy. She's next. I have to take her for a walk and play with her because that's what you do when you're a good doggy owner. It's your turn next. Okay. So, there's not a lot of people watching right now, and that's probably a good thing. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go over like 3 topics. Let me just knock out the first one really quick. My name's Trevor Wright. I'm a songwriter. I'm 40 years old. I've been writing music for over 30 years. I'm born and raised in Southern California, Orange County. And I have 2 songs being released on November 7th. Do You, which is short for Do You Love Me? I kind of rearranged the song a little bit, and that will be released on November 7th on 150 different streaming platforms. And then another song called Shadow Mountain, and I wrote that song in Portland like 4 years ago at my apartment. Do You Love Me is an old song that I've been it's been evolving, and I've been kind of playing that song for a long time, since I was in my early 20s. So I'm not an influencer, okay? So don't expect any greatness. And real quick, just to finish up the music topic, writing music is what I do, okay? And I'm not saying other people are posers or people are authentic like I am, I'm not saying that, okay? We all come from the same influences, usually. If you're, a modern songwriter, we all have the same influences, and we all more or less sort of do the same thing. But like intentions, when I started writing and playing music, I was, 5 years old, 6 years old. I got like a little mini guitar from my stepdad. It was a little Squire, it was a little baby guitar. And then when I was 12 years old, I upgraded to an adult size guitar. I just spread my fingers all long and stuff. So anyway, and I wanted to keep playing my little guitar, and he's like, no, you gotta play the big guitar now. Anyway, so when I started playing music and writing music, it was more of like a connection I had with my stepdad, and I like genuinely liked playing guitar, listening to music, and writing music. It had nothing to do with like making money, getting streams, getting girlfriends, being famous, or anything like that, because I was like 7 years old, so I wasn't thinking about those things. So I play music, and it's just what I do. It's just what I do. I don't try to play music. I don't want to write music. I don't want to become rich and famous and have all these girlfriends. It's just what I do. It's sometimes I liken it to like, it's almost like spiritually vomiting, you know. I'm not like the best songwriter. I'm not the best musician, but it's just, again, it's just what I do is write music. I've been writing music for over 30 years. So 2 songs coming out on the 7th. Buy my music so I could quit my job. See, that's why I think a lot of people want to like be an influencer or a musician or something. They just want to get a bunch of money so they don't have to work and stuff. And yeah, I mean, if you know you're smart enough, you could probably do that. But that's, you know, I have a normal job. You know, I have a fucking, pardon my French, I have a job. I work all the time. Okay. So here we have the working tools, the level, the trowel, the square, the compass, obviously all actual masonry tools. Not like speculative masonry, but actually the stone working side of masonry. And all these tools are supposed to be sort of like a symbol for a character attribute. And we have, example, the compass. You could draw a perfect circle with the compass. As you see up here, that's the circle. And what this tool represents is keeping boundaries between like 2 people. So this would be like the perfect circle of space in between 2 people. And masonry kind of just reveals one thing to another, to another, to another, and kind of like never ends. So, you know, you have the 2 pillars of masonry, you know, enter, apprentice, fellow craft, brother Jachin and brother Boaz. Okay, so you have 2 brothers here, 2 Johns. Okay, St. John and St. John. So no, really, so this is the compass, and then you have the square here. Your day is divided in 3 8-hour sections when you're a Mason. Work, family stuff that you have to take care of, and then like self-care, you know, like rest, meditation, reading the Bible, like spiritual work, family obligations, and then which would fall under your masonry obligations, and then 8 hours of like actual labor, whatever your career is or whatever your day job is. So you will have here the 4 directions, north, south, west, east. This is something I kind of made up on my own. So you have the square and the circle. So this is the square and compass, but this is another way of displaying the square and compass. So you have the compass, which creates a perfect circle, G for geometry, the center of the earth. No, I'm just kidding, right? So you have the globe, and then you have the square, your day, which is in 4. I don't know. Okay, so I was just kind of thinking of other ways to basically draw this symbol. Okay, and then you have the chisel. Okay, every Mason is an imperfect man or maybe woman, depending on what country you're in. And you have like a lot of saints come from Masonry. Like he's rough around the edges. He's edgy. So that means he's got to chisel off some of those rough edges and become smoother. A smoother stone to be put in the celestial castle or kingdom. So, and then you have the trowel. You get this when you are raised to a master mason. My grandpa gave me his trowel, and it represents spreading the cement of brotherly love. A level. So the saying, keeping on the level with me, be completely honest with me. Just give it to me straight. Yeah. So you have Dumb and Dumber. Anybody? No. Okay. So you have the level. So anyways, these are the working tools of masonry. So now we're moving forward to the new notebook. Do you guys remember that scene in Dumb and Dumber? That was there's a lot of, I know that's the first Dumb and Dumber. Obviously, it's a hilarious movie. It's like 90s comedy, like totally like my generation. But that was one of the VHSs I owned. I owned like 9 movies when I was a kid, and 5 of them were Jim Carrey movies. Okay, so new notebook. Ooh, this paper is so much smoother and silkier. Nice. Nice. If you're commenting, I don't see it. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. The phone's turned around. I'm not being rude. I just literally don't see it. Okay. So I've been kind of sort of having a bone to pick with refined sugar, corn syrup. It's in almost everything, not only our beverages, but a lot of like our snacks. It's sort of like quick, easy food, like chips and stuff like that, like cookies, it's in like everything. I'm just going to write it down here. Refined sugar. That's the first thing I write in my new artistic live musical notebook is refined sugar. Okay, you call it corn syrup. It's basically synthetic processed fake sugar. Okay, sugar is not that good for you anyways in excess, and fake sugar is even worse. Okay, what's weird about it, it's in like 98% of all beverages in stores. And I feel like, it's like, does anybody else notice this? So I buy Mexican sodas, jarritos. Okay, I'm basically part Mexican because I grew up in Southern California. I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm pretty much, I'm trying to marry a girl that's half Mexican. Okay, so I'm trying to get in the family. Okay, so anyways, we have this refined sugar is in everything, and it's essentially like poison. It's like a soft poison. Okay, so just like your content. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so you have this refined sugar corn syrup is in so much, and it's not good. It's really not good. A lot of diseases like diabetes, dementia, like most cancer, like most of the main diseases actually like are largely due because of excess of sugar, especially refined sugar and corn syrup. Okay, so why is it in like 98%, like 98% of our beverages and all these foods? If it's not good for us, why is it in everything? That's what I want to know. Okay, refined sugar corn syrup is it's probably like $1 billion industry on Wall Street. So okay, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's not really a conspiracy when this crappy sugar is in everything, and it even says it on the label. It's no longer a conspiracy. Okay, so it's just, I feel like it's just another part of, you could call it the control pyramid. Not the spiritual control pyramid that I've talked about before, but the actual control pyramid. I went in a little bit about this yesterday. So you have the double-headed snake. And sorry, I'm drawing stuff while I'm talking, so you're not seeing what I'm drawing, so it might not make sense. But anyways, it's in everything. Not to continue on this topic because I don't want to get too into it, but I don't think it's good for people. There was like 3 months where I didn't have any refined corn syrup. I double checked the labels on everything I ate and everything I drank. And at the end of that 3 months, I felt like zero mental fog. I felt more energy. I lost a bunch of weight. I felt not just a little better, but a lot of better. A lot of better. Okay. And I think that's mainly due to refined sugar. And what's irritating is it's in so much of everything that not a lot of people have like the time or the discipline or the finances to make sure they're getting beverage and food items without refined sugar. You know, it gets to the point, I remember I broke my refined sugar uh, abstinence. Like I was just busy one day and I just didn't have time. I had to go to work and I just grabbed like this soda. It was whatever, like Pepsi, wild cherry Pepsi. I was just like, fuck it, I'm thirsty, I'm busy, and then all of a sudden I'm drinking this shit again. And I think it slows people down. I think it makes people sick and negative. You could get into like it blocks like the third eye and you could get like super whatever with it. Okay, I'm not gonna do that right now, but I'm just gonna say I think it's bad for people. Just simple. It's just bad for people. So if there's anything you take out of this live, I would suggest everybody that is watching this or subscribe to me is try to stay away from refined sugar. And it's in everything, it's a lot of, it's all marketing and packaging. Okay. So it's the same crap. It's just in a different package. It's under a different brand, under a different shape. Kind of like Taco Bell. You go to Taco Bell, it's all the same kind of food. It's just shaped differently and they call it something else, but it's like 4 ingredients. That's how this refined sugar is. Okay. It's like alcohol. Alcohol is tons of different ways to make alcohol, beer, liquor, all different types of alcohol, different cocktails, all this stuff. But essentially it is all fermented sugar. See, we're back to the sugar again already. That's crazy. Okay, fermented sugar. So alcohol, I don't drink alcohol anymore. I was a really bad alcoholic. So I just do myself a favor and I'm just like, maybe I'm someone that shouldn't drink any alcohol. So I just do not drink alcohol anymore. I'm drawing a little Patron bottle right now. That was one of my favorites. Patron was bomb. Bam. Okay, Patron. See, now you want a cocktail, right? Okay. So, bam. I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't have like a lot of, clever things to say about that. I'm just saying, I think refined sugar and corn syrup is bad and it's in everything. And why is it in everything? What's the date? The 5th? So let's date this. November 5th. I got to start keeping track of what I do because it's like Trevor Wright, YouTube Live. Because I think everybody wants to be well and feel well, but it's kind of difficult when everything they sell is something that is not good for you. Even though it's not like poison, it's not on the poison chart, but in their mind, they're like, oh, people will have maybe 2 or 3 sodas a year. So they're kind of like judging the health impact on what a normal person would intake. But people, I mean, in the 90s, people would get those big gulps and get just gigantic sodas from fast food places and drink that for 10 years straight. Then all of a sudden, everybody's like obese, diabetic, so on and so forth. And I feel like they should, in a way, be held, like criminally responsible for basically feeding everybody this. Okay. So okay. So I talked about music, talked about my old notebook, and then I'm probably gonna be, if you just got to see some more live, I was thinking about taking out some of the archives I have on Instagram. Instagram, I haven't been going live on Instagram lately. I've been doing lives on YouTube because I was going live on Instagram every day last year when I moved out of Portland and I moved to the country. I live in North Arizona. I know, fancy, right? So seriously, North Arizona is nice. There's like a lot of old money here. So I was going live every day and basically doing Bible studies and talking shit on Portland, and just blurting out a bunch of random ass topics, kind of like what I'm doing now, but just I think more high energy than now. So no, I think I said this at the beginning of the video. I said there's a girl I like, and I was saying that I like her personality and her sense of humor and everything. And she's attractive, but I was like, oh, I'm not gonna date her because of her figure. That was mean, and she has a great figure. She looks incredible, actually. She's exactly my type too. I've dated, obviously a lot of Mexican girls, being from Southern California, so let's see. Yeah, I think she's great, but I mean, she could do whatever she wants. So, okay, that's kind of crazy looking what I just showed. So that was my live, and I think that's it. So 2 songs are being released on November 7th, and then I remixed and remastered I'm on Top, and that will be released on November 16th. And I kind of just cleaned the song up. I messed with the EQ, I messed with the levels, I added like another guitar track. I like fixed some vocals, so it's not like I really just remixed it. It's kind of it's more than just a remix. It's almost like a second version, and the version that's out right now it would be like the demo, and then I'm like actually properly releasing the song on the 16th of this month. So I have 2 songs released on the 7th, 1 song releasing on the 16th, and then a lot of these songs like Orange Night, let's write that down. Orange Night is released, and that song's gonna be on my I don't know if it's gonna be an EP or an album. It's either gonna be like a 6-song EP or it could be like a 10-song album, but it's gonna be called Dark Country. And even though I released Orange Night already and it's on Spotify, you could listen to it now. You could buy it on Amazon Music. It's on YouTube, the demo version and the fully composed version that my buddy Daniel in Portland, he did the drums, the keyboards, he mixed it, he edited it. When I put it on the album, it's going to say featuring, Daniel, even though it doesn't say that right now. But anyways, that is on Spotify. And you could hear that now. But anyway, so Orange Night will be on Dark Country, and there's a lot of songs I've already released those songs will be on Dark Country, but it's gonna be more of like an advanced version of the song. It's a cool sketchbook. Oh, I got that up, Michael. So anyways, a lot of the songs that are on Dark Country a lot of them are songs I've been playing for over 15 years. Like Do You, that will be on Dark Country, and I was playing that song when I was 21 years old with one of my old bands, the first lineup of Hold Me Like a Gun, with Mike Holton. He was in Save Ferris. He wrote the song from that movie, 10 Things I Hate About You. He was my roommate. He was my buddy. He's actually has some like hit songs out there, and we were in a band together in Orange County. I know. I'm so fucking cool and connected. No, but seriously. So Mike Holton was on drums. He's not even a drummer. And then my buddy Josiah Adams, who is like this fucking weed king living in Europe now. He legally, that's why I say that. He's like legally in the cannabis industry. Anyways, he was on bass, and we would wear these like Indian clothes, those like male dresses, and then we would play these like psychedelic concerts. But anyways, so that's how far back that song Do You Love Me goes, it goes back 19 years. Okay. I played that song when I was 21 at different bars. Actually, before I was 21, because I remember we played a lot of shows and I couldn't drink at the concert. I've always had older friends. Okay, so that song has evolved. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a different song. It's still the same chord progression. It's still a lot of the same lyrics and melody lines. But yeah, a lot of the lyrics changed. There's been like added parts. It's just matured so much that to me, it feels like a different song. So that's going to be on Dark Country. And then I'm going to be releasing more old Hold Me Like a Gun too. Like the lineup eventually was, a different lineup. Nathan on bass, Anthony Perigretti on drums. So the Italian Stallion, it's my nickname for him. So that's gonna be. I don't hate all Italians just because Lexi went to Italy with someone else. Now it's like I'm not that fucking okay. So anyways, so sorry. Okay, so I've been releasing music that I recorded when I was like 23, 24 years old. It's also on Spotify. And I don't want to say I feel weird about that, but I was living a lifestyle that was so extreme. I've talked about this on YouTube, that the music is so like intense that it almost stresses me out listening to it, because it reminds me of when I used to drink and when I was dating Desiree. Not that she stresses me out, but it just reminds me of like such a different time in my life. Like, seems like 2 lifetimes ago. That, I mean, it's good. I like the music and stuff, but what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to be playing that type of music anymore, even though I released some of that music this year on Spotify. First Class Horror, Cocaine Freaks. These are some of the songs, and I'm going to be releasing more of Hold Me Like a Gun. Hot Stuff. There's Foreigner, which is on physical copies. I recorded that with Sunny Meadows in Claremont earlier this year, which seemed like a long time ago. So Foreigner was a song that Hold Me Like a Gun used to play, regularly at our live concerts. So just a quick little sort of update / review of kind of, look at this little cutie pie. Oh my gosh, where I'm at musically, and kind of like what I'm doing with my songwriting. Not like I have anything to prove, but it's, I'm not qualifying myself. I was writing music and doing United States tours and traveling to London. I was doing all this music stuff before social media even existed. When a lot of you guys were in diapers and your parents were spoon feeding you, I was like touring the country playing rock shows. So I stopped playing music for like 11 years. It's just because I didn't feel like playing music. There's no real like anything really that happened. I was in bands and played so many shows from really 12 years old to like 24 that I just burned out. That was like over a decade of just constantly being in bands, playing shows, writing music, that, I just got tired of it, so I stopped really. I mean, yeah, I played some music in my late 20s, like I jammed with some coworkers, but I wasn't like actively doing anything. First band I was in a Christian punk rock band, The Discarded. That's probably the most popular band I was ever in, was The Discarded. That was before social media. We just played some really, big shows. We play at the Showcase in Corona. We'd have 600-700 people come in specifically to see our band. We had a MySpace. I had like my own section of fans. Again, this seems like 3 lifetimes ago. That was lead singer. That was Justin from Random Land. He's a content creator now. He does Disneyland content. And he's someone I would actually definitely be interested in re-collaborating with, because he's so professional with everything he does, like online and with his marketing. And he's a really good, obviously he's a good, songwriter. He's a good guitar player. So I would definitely be interested in collaborating with him again. Absolutely. That would be
Triumph. That would be a great collaboration because, you know, that was my first, well, he wasn't part of the original lineup of the Discarded because that was Casey on drums, Johnny was a singer, and then Jason. No, Casey was bass, even though he was a drummer. Jason was drums, Johnny was singer. I was the guitar player. So that was actually the original lineup of the Discarded. But then obviously the more well-known, popular version of the Discarded, at least 25 years ago, was Justin was a singer. I was a guitar player. Matt, aka Monkey, was the bass player, and then Aisha, which was Justin's first girlfriend, was a drummer. So technically, I was the only original member of the Discarded, and I'm still, bringing that to people's attention, even like 25 years later. That was a lie. I don't think I breathed that entire 10 minutes. I was just talking. So I guess that's like the real short. That's like the real short version of my musical history. I've gone on YouTube and said all this before, but it's funny. I was reading like stories from like Keith Richards, and he wrote a book, memoirs of being in the Rolling Stones and stuff. It's like I almost feel like I don't know if I could write a book, but I could probably write like maybe like a catalog or something, like a few. I don't know. I could probably write something simple, a review of my. So yeah, I've been publishing a lot of music this year. I was recording with Sunny Meadows in Claremont. We did physical copies, a 10-song album, and then we did a 2-song EP, She's a Villain, and this time She's a Villain. And then I started publishing old Hold Me Like a Gun music. And I just have literally like 100 songs to record. So I just bought my own computer and audio interface, and I'm just basically recording stuff on my Apple iMac. I bought an Apple iMac all-in-one. It was like $2,400, including the insurance. And then bought like a little cheap bass. That was a few $100. And then bought this chair and bought this table to put the computer on. So I've been, putting in, I don't know, a lot of money, but I mean, I've been counting the traveling, paying Sunny Meadows, paying Daniel, recording, the computer, the guitars, like everything. I've probably put in seriously like around $10,000 into my music this year. So even though I'm making money with streams and little bits of money, like, $50, $12, $145 was the last one. Like I'm getting little bits of money, but I've put in like 10K this year. So getting like $100 or $200 a week is not, cutting the cake, so to speak. So I'm definitely hoping for good things with Do You. I feel like Do You, that's coming out in 2 days on Spotify. I feel like that's the best thing I've probably ever published in my entire life. And I'm planning on putting out even better, more produced music. Kind of feeling like doing instrumentals next year, or I'm just so tired of singing about just like feelings and girls and stuff. It's like it's pretty old. So I want to talk, maybe, I don't know. There's actual topics I want to get into with my music, but I don't really know how to put that in lyrics. So I might just do instrumentals next year and kind of do like soundtrack music. And really next year, which is coming up soon, we're at the end of the year. Next year I'm going to be doing a lot of music videos for the songs I published this year. So next year I might not be putting out a lot of music, but I'm going to be doing a lot of music videos. And then if I do put out music, it's probably going to be more on the instrumental side of things, like soundtrack, vibey stuff, like music like you would go to sleep to, or like something like background music, kind of like Trick or Treat. That's a reggae song that I put out like 3 weeks ago. It's like a 6-minute reggae song. There's actually lyrics to that song, but I'm sort of still working on that. So Trick or Treat was meant to be just a song you just chill with, where you just drive around. It's kind of like in the background. I've been really into like music that is not so heavy with lyrics. At least for me anyways, it's just like it gets old, as soon as you listen to a song, you have someone fucking yelling or singing at you. It's just, I don't know if it's because I'm 40 now, but I just don't fucking want to hear it. So I've been like, you listen to a song I published this year also called The Cave, which I recorded 4 years ago in Portland. The Cave is 90% an instrumental. So that's kind of, I feel like my path is going to be more like instrumentals, and then I might put out songs that are have lyrics to it. But so next year, if I come out with an album, there'll probably be maybe like 2 songs with lyrics, and most of it will be instrumentals. It's just I'm vibing on that more lately. So get my nachos. Oh my gosh, no, Ginger, this is nothing you want. Even though she likes nachos. I mean, nachos is one of her all-time favorites. But she likes nachos with steak on it. How do you eat on YouTube? YouTube Live. So, I haven't had a cigarette all day. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm really cutting back on cigarettes. I haven't had a cigarette all day, all morning, all afternoon. I'm not even planning on having one until like 8 o'clock. 8 or 9 o'clock is probably when I'm gonna have a cigarette. I quit cigarettes for so long, and then when I was managing the smoke shop in Portland, I was around so many cigarettes and smokers. I was working there for like 8 months before I actually started smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes are so bad. I mean, they're bad for like everything. It's bad for your teeth. It's bad for your lungs. It's bad for your organs. It's not good for anything. It affects blood flow. Like if I don't smoke a cigarette, even now, like I don't smoke a cigarette all day, I look and feel so much healthier. Just even after one day of not smoking a cigarette, so. My fucking monster, you guys didn't remind me. Better not be frozen. I don't know why. I don't think you could comment anymore on my YouTube. That one time I went live, I had so many comments. I don't know if I adjusted something in the settings, but every time I've been live since I assembled the chair in my room, I've never been able to get comments or reply. I don't know. I don't know if maybe I don't think I put comments off. I really don't. Not for my lives. I usually do it for my YouTube videos. Like, I don't know why more influencers don't turn the comments off, because let's be honest, like 95% of the comments are shit. They're either from fake accounts or they're just like pointless, like a couple heart emojis. They're not adding to the content anyway. See, Jay Dyer, Jay Dyer comment section is lit because he's like actually has really in depth topics and his content's really good. So his comment section is, I would say, almost just as good as his actual lives. So that's why I watch Jay Dyer, because I'm not only am I watching his content, his comment section is lit because he has a bunch of intellectual people following him. Not like Amperl and Lexi, where there's just a bunch of like 17-year-old kids that are like, oh my God, I just loved it when you were dating Andrew. Oh my God, that was the best. Like fucking 4 years ago. You know, it's there's no reason for content creators like them to have their comments on, because I've never really seen one comment that is intellectual or applicable or to anything. So it's just me going off. Yeah, so I don't know. I turn my comments off because I'm not doing content like Jay Dyer. I'm not going over like the Great Schism in fucking 1054. You know, I don't have these callers calling in. I'm just, will fill, my content's like me doing 10 push-ups. So there's like nothing really to talk about, you know? It's just me documenting my life so I could look back on it and be like, oh yeah, I was, you know, working out when I was like 37 years old. I ran around California or whatever. It's just kind of more or less me documenting like my progress. A lot of it's me putting my music out. It's not conversational pieces. It's like I'm performing music here. I'm putting out live music. Okay, it's meant to listen to it, not really to talk about it. I'm not saying I don't give a shit about what people think about my music. I'm not saying that. It's just I think some content. Well, okay, so sure, some of Amperl's content is, if it's because their whole thing, Brent Rivera, his whole thing is to do relatable stuff like, oh, dude, that's so relatable, bro. That was so funny and relatable. And so people, you know, comment like, oh, dude, that was so relatable and that was so funny. That was so funny when you look to the left and then Liv hit you in with the fucking with her shoe, and Lexi fell fucking from the ceiling, and then fucking Dom fucking did like a cartwheel. Like, dude, that was so relatable, bro. You know, so I don't know. I guess, you know, comments. I don't know. I don't do comments personally. Sometimes, like, I'll leave some comments on. Sometimes, like, there's been stuff I posted in the last 2 weeks where the comments are on. You could see them. Zero sugar, right? We were just talking about that. It's got B3, B6, B12. It says zero sugar. But it's like, does it have zero sugar? I mean, you really have to read this shit. Carbonated water. It's got to have something bad in it. It's caffeine. Potassium, that's good. $150 milligrams of caffeine. Ginseng. Ooh, ginseng. Ooh, ginseng. This design is like pretty elaborate. It's like the beginning of like a freaking House of Dragons or something. Just all right. That's it. That's it. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, my whole point was to kind of clean up yesterday's live and to have more of a positive message, not a negative one. I think I did a pretty good job with that. So. Okay. Ooh, it's 4:30. I have to take her for a walk before it gets dark. Yep, she knows. She knows. She knows it's walk time. this wash time. Down here. Come on. I know you want high ground. I'll put you down here then. I've never put on your walking gear on the couch. Not once. Why would you go up there? So cute when she like puts her little paw in, like she like tries to like aim her paw in the thing. That is adorable. That's adorable. That's adorable. Gingy. You guys have a great one. Y'all have a great one, you hear?